Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, my review of Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. So this is Chuck Tingle's second horror novel. He's best known probably for writing kind of humorous erotic short fiction. I haven't read any of that, but I have read his first novel, Camp Damascus, which I liked but I didn't love. My problems with Camp Damascus were there was one plot element, and I certainly won't say what it is because it would spoil the book, but there was one plot element that I felt didn't really work. And also I just felt it didn't quite hang together as a book as well as it could have. So I liked it, but I didn't love it. Bury Your Gaze, on the other hand, I thought hung together perfectly. I thought it was a really, really well constructed book. So it's about a guy called Misha, who is gay but not kind of publicly gay, but is famous. So he's kind of a public figure. He's a TV writer and like showrunner for a successful show, and he's also made other like TV shows and movies in the past. And indeed, as the book opens, a short film he made is up for the best Oscar, the best short film Oscar. So he's got a lot going on in his life, and the book starts with him getting called into like the executive office at the TV studio that's making his TV show, where he's told that he needs to kill off two gay characters in his TV show. So there's been this kind of long-running like bubbling under romance between these two female characters in the show, which is about to come to a head at the end of this season. And he's told he either needs to make them straight or he needs to let them be gay but kill them off. So he, obviously is completely opposed to that, but the TV executives are like, really firm on that. So he's got that going on. So there's kind of three things going on already. You've got his kind of his sexuality and his approach to that in terms of his like his public appearances and things like that. You've got the Oscar nomination, and then you've got this change he's been asked to make to his TV show. And then weird stuff starts happening. So characters like monsters from previous things that he's made start appearing to him. He starts seeing them in the street. They start trying to interact with him and things like that. So there's something, really, really weird going on. And as the plot progresses, all four of those different elements get pulled together really, really nicely. I was really impressed with the way Chuck Tingle managed to combine all of them by the end into something that was really, really satisfying. So I have to say, I think the horror elements weren't quite as well done as the other bits of the book. They're good, and there's certainly some really interesting horror ideas and some really creepy stuff. Some of the creatures Tingle comes up with are really interesting. I really enjoyed them. But it's the other parts of the book that really shine. It's, the treatment of or the discussion of the way big business treats the queer community is really, really interestingly done, and it's effective. It becomes part of the storyline in a way that works really, really well. I can't tell you how the plot progresses because it goes in a direction I wasn't expecting at all, but that I thought worked brilliantly. So that when you find out what's going on, what the reason for these monsters appearing is, it's actually really smart, really clever. So there's discussion of a lot of interesting things about the entertainment industry. So also like the use of AI is discussed at length in the book, but again in a way that isn't intrusive to the story. So yeah, the horror is effective, but not the best thing about the book. I did think some of the other things were just so well done that they kind of eclipse the horror. So there's a reunion scene where he goes back to like meet people he went to high school with, which I thought was just perfectly handled. And there's also a speech he gives about the importance of horror to individuals, about what it gives people who consume it, that I thought was really spoke to me as a horror fan as well. So it just felt to me like a book that was perfectly paced. And where all of these elements are so evenly balanced and come together so well at the end that it makes for a really, really satisfying read. It did remind me a bit of Joss Whedon. And maybe that's deliberate. Maybe that's deliberate on Chuck Tingle's part. But it's definitely got that, you know, in Joss Whedon stuff, you quite often get quite a lot of different things going on, quite a lot of different kind of interesting subtexts that come together but never overwhelm the story. So you've definitely got that. There's also just a clear love of the horror genre and of, you know, entertainment, like light entertainment type stuff. In particular, so the X-Files, whilst it isn't, you know, directly referenced, Misha as a kid loved a TV show which is, you know, very clearly based on the X-Files, and just the discussion of that I thought was really well done. So it's always great to read a book that is written by someone who loves the subject matter that they're writing about, and that's clearly the case with Chuck Tingle. So yeah, it makes for a very, very entertaining read, and I definitely recommend it. So I hope you found that interesting. If you've read Bury Your Gaze, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're really good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.